Yeah.
I had it on my computer, but then I forgot, I printed it all out of my office and I'm like.
Uh-oh.
That just didn't work out so well.
Front door locked. Kristen Smith's trying to get in.
Someone let her.
Front door.
Could be,
They pulled this out, so I closed it, but it's still open.
yeah.
That's. I'll tell you. So I don't know, that's fine, I. Why?
Yeah, I guess.
But I was like, I was that, didn't do nothing on it.
I'm not really sure.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know if it was. That's it. I- it was-
How are you doing?
That's right.
No.
It's the one-
You're like.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to start?
We are ready, you can, get started.
Call to order. Looks like it's 2 minutes after 5. Any public input?
We do have an email that was sent to me that I will read into the record for you.
Okay.
It's from Patricia Snyder at 10,000 Columbia Avenue, Munster, Indiana. Dear Mr. Heinz, as an over 65-year resident of Munster, I want to express my displeasure in the new policy of not allowing guest passes for the Munster Community Pool. I have been a season pass holder of the current Munster Community Pool since its inception. I was also a member of the original Munster Pool starting in the early 60s when I was on the pool board and was very involved with selling of season passes each year. The Munster Pool has been an integral part of my summer life from the time I was a young mother to now as a 92-year-old pool regular. My children and grandchildren have fond memories of spending time at the pool. I was hoping to once again bring my grandson and daughter as guests this summer, as I have in the past. It was very disappointing to hear that we will have to now pay $15 for each of them to attend the pool with me. $30 for an afternoon at the pool is an absurd amount of money to pay for them to enjoy an afternoon at the pool as my guests. While I understand that there's been a problem with guest passes, I wish that you would have considered other options. For example, instead of issuing the packet of guest passes, having the season pass holder purchase the guest pass with the guest present for that day only. You can even limit the number of times per month or per season that a person could purchase a guest pass. I wish that you would please take the time to consider other options so that people like me who have faithfully used the pool and purchased season pass every year would be able to bring guests. Sincerely, Patricia Snyder. And that's the only email correspondence we received for public.
And did we just change that recently?
That was changed 2 years ago.
Okay,
And refresh my memory, I thought we just did away with coupon books.
That's what she's referring to. These
Okay.
were coupon books, and coupon books, they were referred to, some people would call them the guest passes.
Okay.
It's
So
kind
I
of.
thought guests.
it was just cheaper
Was
for
it guest pass?
season passes than it was for residents.
Yeah.
If you were
did we
season
allow
pass
the
holder,
guest
you got
pass?
them for 25. If you were not, it was 30. Okay.
Oh, I see.
You either did daily admission or you had the season pass. There was no real guest pass.
Oh,
Where
okay.
kind of
That's fine.
asking.
And do we allow, yeah, that they,
Yeah.
Yeah, and do we allow any sort of discount if someone's coming in with a season ticket holder?
We do not. It's just, it's either buy your season pass, which is a discounted rate for coming multiple times, or you're paying the daily admission for a resident or as a non-resident. That's the main three options that we have.
Well, and is that something that we should consider allowing a
People
discount?
get caught up in membership. Versus you want a season pass, so you don't have to pay. Yeah.
There, we also,
So, one title.
one of the other reasons that we also got rid of it was people were coming in and buying them in bulk and then reselling them. So, and making a difference on their own to others that were,
Oh,
because there was multiple tiers, because there was a tier for pool pass coupon books, resident coupon books, and non-resident coupon books. And people would come in with a pool pass. So I could, if I lived in Hammond, I could come and buy a pool pass for myself, and I can go buy as many of those pool pass discount coupon books and turn around and sell them to other people, still saving them money. Unfortunately, that was kind of some of the abuse.
sounds like a weird business opportunity.
But we got rid of them 2 years ago,
2 summers ago, yeah. So this will be the second year that it'll be.
and she addressed it last year.
She did not.
Okay, so this is the first time.
Yeah.
And I assume we're grandkids don't live in down or.
I'm assuming so, since she said $15, because that's the non-resident rate for a daily admission, $15. At that same time is also when the fees were increased, because before that summer, I think it was $7 daily admission for.
Yeah.
10,
We did.
so.
We had to, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was the same fee that it was when the pool opened.
Right. Yeah, let's go.
And there haven't been, in the last 2 years, we haven't had any other issues with this.
No, I mean, people have come in wanting to buy them that knew that they could buy them in the past, and when we told them we can no longer sell them, they just accepted it, they paid at the gate. One of the other challenges is making fees easier and admissions entrance easier. Typically, our office staff at the admissions booth is the youngest employees at pool, and trying to simplify things as best that we can. It's sometimes difficult, and you guys know some of the issues we were having with credit card machines and cash, and Janice can tell you all kinds of horror stories about balancing their drawers with them every single day. So trying to simplify things is one of the other rationale that was behind that.
All right. Anything else from the public?
Is this open to the public now?
Yes, right now it is. Can you state your name and address and go?
Like down there.
Hi, my name's John Colby. I live at 7905 Monroe Avenue, and I have a few comments about the dog park. The first one is fertilizing. Now, you have dogs in there playing, they have their tennis balls, it picks up the fertilizer. It used to be where it was a fine powder. And if there was a rain, you didn't see that fertilizer anymore. That fertilizer is still in the park. It's on the concrete, it's on the bare spots. There are people that are in there for 3 hours at a time, playing with their dogs. And I know you fertilize the whole park like that, but that's temporary. People come in, they walk through. But in the dog park, that's a designated area for the dogs to play. And you could either go with a pet-friendly fertilizer, a liquid fertilizer, or that fine powder that you used a couple of years ago. In one rain, it's gone. Now it's still there. What is it, 3 weeks? May 1st, I think it was, when it was fertilized.
Is that a time release fertilizer using them?
It is, the more rain we have, it'll go down into the thatch. Eventually, it's gonna go away. I can talk to our contractor about something more pet friendly. I'm not aware of any.
Did we
On a
make any
commercial
changes?
use.
We didn't make any changes with that.
No,
Our contract's been the same for the last 3 years with them. I mean, if they've changed the type of material they're putting down, that's something we can ask them about if they have a powder that they go back to. But yeah, and that's something that we don't spec necessarily the process on how to fertilize or the material itself, other than the type of fertilization that we're seeing. but we can mention.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Or liquid fertilizer.
Yeah.
They do make liquid fertilizer.
Mhm.
Okay, the other thing I like to mention is, there are people that are throwing their dogs over the fence and throwing their kids over the fence. And they're coming in there, and then they're arguing with you, "Well, why do I have to do that?" I said, "Well, make sure your dog has all the shots." They say, "Well, they have all the shots." I said, "Yeah, but we don't know that." And I mentioned, well, there could be dog fights, because you don't know who's coming in. And he says, "Well, if I'm registered, what's the difference? If I'm registered, what's gonna prevent a dog fight?" I said, "Well, it keeps it under control, you know who's coming in here." So, and there was about 3 times this week that somebody jumps the fence.
Okay.
And if you call the police, all you get is 911 and you go through a half hour of explaining everything.
Yeah,
Do they have a weapon? Do they this? What are they doing, you know?
yeah.
So, and
Sir, and I realize that could be an inconvenience, but for your own safety, I would recommend never to confront anybody, with anything like that, just for your own safety. You don't know what could happen. So, just keep that in mind, and we do appreciate that, but I would recommend to you just to make that call first and foremost, just for your own safety.
it's hard to do and other people mentioned it too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you, but
And one more.
Okay, one more, and that's it.
There is a spot that floods, one blast spot that floods, and it's about 20 feet from the drain. It'd be so easy to put in 20 feet of pipe, tee it in to get rid of it. In a heavy rains, there's dogs that go play in that mud. Fortunately, my dog hasn't done it since she was a pup.
Yeah,
But there are other dogs, and those dogs just lay in that mud, and
Yeah.
it's really a simple fix.
and we'll take a look at the rain.
Gladly talk with somebody about it.
Yeah.
Because I've been a dog park member since it opened, everything except for 2 summers when my dog passed, and I got
Yeah.
another one. So,
Thank you for using the.
and it's a beautiful park.
It is, it truly is.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you, John. All right, up next is administrative matters and approval of the park board minutes. Anybody have any objections to them?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
second.
All in favor? Aye. Next up is the vouchers. Did everybody get a chance to look at the vouchers? Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Up next is reports. May board report.
I'll highlight some things and answer any or clarifications if necessary here. So Centennial Park parking is definitely taking up a lot of our time in our office. As violations have gone home around April 21st, we had lines out our door down our hallway. Many people were not aware that they had to re-register for 2023, so we went through a process to cancel a lot of the violations that were sent out and talked with ASTA and got that all clarified. A lot of golfers and dog park members also had that same misunderstanding and got a lot of people to register. At the time, we were at about 2,700 license plates, and in about a week and a half, we jumped to 5,100 registered. So you can see how many it hits and people, the word got out. So thankfully that was a blessing in disguise that way. We're actually now approaching 5,600 license plates in that system.
Mark, do you see this is something that's gonna be an ongoing issue every year?
I sure hope not, but it's not. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of time because people are looking to call when they get it, who are unfamiliar with it and calling and wanting to talk to somebody. And even though we will defer them to, on the back of the violation notice, there's a disputes procedure, we'll, defer them to there, but we do try to find out if it's a resident first, make sure that they're registered. If it's not, then share with them that this is a pay-to-park facility. There's all kinds of signage out there. People will tell us they don't see the signs.
There's so much.
Oh,
It's-
I just.
If you're blind, if you don't see it, It's not even.
We have the construction message board.
Right,
out.
I saw that lately,
Well-
like, whoa.
I will be honest, at the last meeting registered because I didn't realize you had to do it. And I did it right after the last meeting.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you
no, I
get a
think that's
buffer.
great, but I did it
Buffer.
literally at the last board meeting because you had said something about, it. I went, oh, I guess I don't do that.
Yeah.
So I think we have to figure out a way to spread that message a little bit earlier and more often. Because a lot of people were upset about that.
Yeah, I got it.
And it's difficult because we've had it in the news you can use for months. There's a notice about it. The dare officer has an email list that we each send things out. It's just a matter of, yeah, I mean, how many trying to get it to the exact
Right.
person who reads that and is aware of that.
Right.
But unfortunately, I think, we're trying to, be very receptive to residents' understanding of it from that perspective. It's just, will it absorb time from us? I'm sure it will over time. I mean, just the phone calls coming in and I will say that, everybody in the office has done a really heck of a job in the middle of this because at that same time was our deadline for early bird pool path registration and we had our car show registration and now we're doing our Casper clutter, which sold out. So I mean, it's just been that busy springtime in
Yeah.
the parks office, so.
Oh, we're certified, so just those for later on.
So
I
anyway,
think
but
you
that's,
handled it very well. I like how you took it.
I had a lady today in the midst of complaining about not seeing the signs at parking, who called to check on availability of the clubhouse for a certain date.
Oh,
I'm sorry, the clubhouse is no longer in operation, it was a couple years ago. She goes, you mean the one up by the golf course? And I said, yeah. She goes, I just had Mother's Day brunch there, it makes sense. I was like,
Wow,
no, I'm sorry.
pretty good.
She might have, we're not checking.
Well, I said, I think you're thinking of somewhere else. And she goes, no, I'm not. I was just there. I said, the building is unsafe. We don't let anybody
Yeah.
in it. You could not have been there. And she was there and she said, thank you for being so condescending and like,
Wow.
so.
Oh, it's a good landline. He-
Yeah.
That's.
lots of calls.
It's ours.
Yeah.
Speaking of the golf building, we'll talk a little bit here about, they're working on putting the specs together. We'll talk about the anticipated bidding schedule here coming up. The community park connectivity finally between Impact and Heritage Technologies, they cleared up all their issues out there. Everything's working correctly there. Our Centennial Park still has some issues. We have some issues with the bathrooms at Centennial. However, we got the bathroom doors on a set timer and we're using keys for storage room until they can clarify that. That signal is a wireless signal from an antenna there to the top of the community hospital, which is still a weak connection. So we have to do some further, I'm waiting to find out from Impact what our ideas and potential solutions are there. There's a few hardware issues also that have come up at some community now that we also need to still resolve. So, but for the most part, that's all been a big help with the fiber connectivity that we did this winter out there. Cot swings were installed over at Frank Hammond Park on the west side of the tennis courts. Pickleball, we striped, Permaseal came out and striped courts on our existing tennis courts at Beach, Grove, and Westlake. So we added those as just opportunity for more pickleball as that continues to be desired in the community. We have the Parks Master Plan. We put out for an RFP out for that. It's posted on the town website. We sent it out to a number of consultants. We will have those due back in June and hopefully we can start that process to review them as of June 8th. That. On the recreation side, pool preparations are underway. 304 season passes are already sold. Staff's been hired. We had a pool pride day last week with 15 volunteers that come out and help kind of prep the pool, getting things ready. The car show had its 25th anniversary, May 6th, a huge turnout. We sold out before this day of. We've always been able to take people the day of and put them in the parking lot for judging. We didn't this year. There were some people upset about that, but who would have thought? We totally well over, we had 138 cars in that parking lot previously. The high was about 80 advance going into it. So, and then We also took another 80 that we put in the grass on the day of at a cheaper rate. So there were another growth there with 218 total cars out there. But it was a great event, a lot of staff work for that event as well. Spring soccer wrapped up this past weekend with over 400, almost with coaches and kids involved, over 500 participants there. The spring tennis started with 41 players and staff. The Cash for Clutter takes place this coming Saturday, and that is sold out. So the parking lot at the pool is completely sold out with, I think we are at 101 participants. Many rentals are reserved for the outdoor season, shelters, social center, Centennial Park, some weddings and so forth. On the park maintenance side of things, we did have they were able to put together the 20 new picnic tables for over the pool expansion area of the concessions patio and get those out on site as part of the pool preparations. We did replace 2 AED devices at the Pro Shop and Triple Play Cafe. That's also something we'll talk about shortly on the agenda. We worked with Babe Ruth and girls softball to get the scoreboards reset and working again on C and D on softball, and on the fields at Babe Ruth, there were some issues getting those running. The repairs to the irrigation systems out at ball fields and Westlake Park and Centennial were made, and all those systems are energized for the season. Centennial, we did at the Formal Gardens at Centennial Park. We had to crush limestone there and freshen that area up of the park, as well as some of the red granite out at Centennial that are around a lot of the art pieces that were out there. Along the Pennsy Greenway near Centennial, there was 2 concrete areas. One we previously had mentioned about the railroad marker, and also one where there's a bike path kiosk with regional maps. We did kind of half circles around each of those. We got a concrete vendor that freed up and was able to get those done for us. So we were able to get those poured, and it looks really nice out there.
Yeah, so.
And then new doors have gone in at the east and west entrances to the social center. As far as Indigo, their golf season with leagues has begun as of May 1st. They were started up with concession at Community Park, and they're getting the pool concessions ready. The new irrigation pipe at the driving range was completed to get ready for the new buildings. That work that we had done with rerouting over there. And and overall, they kind of report it's been a dry spring for them as compared to most normal springs. So there's been a little bit more watering being done out on the golf course. So with that, I'll answer any questions or any further.
Just a comment on the Brown State. I remember this is bad spring for weeds. Herbicides been sprayed. It's difficult to continue with full windy mornings. I remember a couple of years ago, we had that issue with dog park, brings up the dog park, and with a couple of dogs that sick with some of the herbicides or something. I remember people was outside of the fertilizer. And I'm wondering, I remember we had talked to them a couple of years ago, and I'm wondering if maybe we just have to remind them, maybe they didn't do. You requested something.
There was something along the fence line. Do you remember?
We didn't do it, and Great Lakes guys didn't do it, but we believe somebody from the dog park sprayed the fence. And I believe it was the same gentleman that was here tonight.
It's probably the same people.
Okay. It just came to mind. I was like, I remember somebody sprayed something along the fence, and it was in the company. We had to check in.
Yeah, it wasn't us. It was somebody, we think it was a dog park member, and that they did it on their own because it was knocked down.
Got it.
And to kill it, and then the other dogs would run along the fence often.
Okay.
John, who was here, is by many of the members out there, they refer to him somewhat seriously, somewhat jokingly as the mayor of the dog park.
Oh.
So, that's.
He was at my first park board meeting.
There you go.
I'm surprised you remember that.
Didn't realize it.
Because he wanted to get a dog evicted from the dog park. I was like, I remember.
Wow. Alright.
Yeah.
Interesting. Any other questions, guys?
The one thing is, did you guys resolve or think about still the bathing suit issue? I know you guys were thinking about buying them, not buying
We
them.
were looking into that. I gotta find out.
I mean, I don't want it to be a pain in the.
I don't, but I definitely would give a solve.
They're ready to go.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we were looking into it to make sure that we could find them at a.
I think that does solve, I think that will solve some problems, as opposed to people getting all irritated about going to Target or wherever they gotta go.
Yep.
All right, sorry, thank you.
Yep.
All right, items up for discussion, the surplus equipment disposal.
This is, I mentioned the AED units earlier. Every year, all the AED units for the town are submitted to the police department and they take it to a third-party vendor who checks them out and verifies they're working and so forth. They came back with 2 of ours were no longer usable, so bringing this to you to declare these 2 as surplus so we can dispose of them. So just, our recommendation is a motion to approve the disposal of the 2 units as described today.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up is the full sound system upgrade.
As part of our ongoing efforts to improve everything out at the pool and get a better experience for everybody and the sound has been a challenge for us out there. I think a lot of you are aware of that. The probably only half of the speakers on the poles out there work, and it's taken a while to get proposals. We finally got some, and we have 2 proposals. One is from Tri Electronics, that's just at $24,325 to have them basically upgrade the entire sound system at the pool to get everything working the way that it should be. So this is a project that was budgeted in the 2022 general obligation bond, and the monies are available to be able to complete this, and that's where we would pay for this out of it. And we are recommending the approval of the proposal from Tri Electronics for these pool sound system upgrades.
Will they have it ready by full season?
Very likely not.
Okay.
We are doing similar upgrades out of the stage, and those were January, I think we gave them the direction, and they are hoping to get there by the end of this month. Finally.
Is it
So
just the equipment that's
it's
not?
equipment, a lot of it because it's coming from overseas.
Uh,
That's their delay.
Roger that.
So if we budgeted 200, we paid 6,094, 79,700. You're saying we got money left over.
There is, but we also are gonna have, also coming out of that I neglected or forgot about, because we haven't paid it yet, the invoice yet, for the picnic tables was about another 20,000. But it is within that 200,000. budget. Yep, still within that budget number.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, up next is the golf course building update.
Tom Coons here from CSK Architects, but just a summary, he and I have been going back and forth with this. We are finally got the specs put together. There's advertisements going in the newspaper this week on Thursday, next week on Thursday, which is the process to do that in the Times and the Post Trib. There will be an on-site pre-bid meeting at 3 o'clock on May 30th, where we'll be out on site at the park itself. Bids will be due June 13th, where we will open them publicly here in this room. June 15th, by that time, Tom's office will be able to put together hopefully a letter of recommendation and a contract. We will be ready to issue that in the June 20th park board package, which will go out on the 16th. So hopefully for consideration at your next meeting in June.
Okay.
So we'll see where prices come in. That's the wild card in that mix right now. So, but once a successful contractor creates a construction schedule based upon their lead times for their materials, especially, the specialized items, we can have a pre-construction meeting with them and have a better firm dates as far as actual construction and duration for us at that point. And also at that point, if you want to, we can schedule a groundbreaking ceremony if you would desire that to be the case. So kind of just sharing with you as a FYI, and if I see some noddings of heads, if you want to do a groundbreaking or not for that activity.
Sure.
Anything from your?
No, we'll be ready to go.
All right.
Welcome to meet
Looking
Tom.
forward to it.
I'm glad to see you.
All right, up next is the warranty deed with NICTD.
I'm going to pass you off to Dustin Anderson as the town manager as the lead on these next 2 items on.
All right.
We got handouts. I heard about the handout. Oh, no, you're just coming up to the table.
No, they're posted on the agenda.
Yeah, they are. Oh, I didn't see it.
There's a memo. Website, that illustrates parcels in question is also an updated. Warranty deed, which is resolution 202302 and an updated professional easement agreement, which is resolution 202303, as well as a uniform offer from Mickey. So we have a number of parcels here to consider this evening, and you might ask, why are we doing this? I would think of this rather than a sale or a granting of easements to Mickey, it's a settlement. Because for Mickey's project, they are a condemning authority under state law, and they could take this. So the town has been working with Mickey for a very long time, because last night, the redevelopment commission and town council
Yeah.
also granted temporary construction easements and warranty deed on a couple properties that would allow them to continue their positive range, right? So there was no sale there. For the park board parcels in question, there will be a cash consideration from Nifty to the town parks department.
Okay.
So you can see construction's underway. Why are we talking about this only now? Was a question that we received last night. So it's a fair question. Right? Why are we only talking about this now when now that construction's underway? It's because the town is very small and Nifty is very large. And Nifty doesn't necessarily have to listen to us if we bring a concern to them about, say, what a station area will look like, what materials they'll use, how they treat our infrastructure. So one of the few tools that we have in our toolbox to look out for the interests of the residents of the town
Right.
is to withhold transfer of these properties strategically, quite frankly. And because we did that, Mickey wanted to make us happy to be a good partner. We have come to a point where we believe that most of our material concerns have been accommodated the best they can. And now is a good time to transfer those properties to Nifty. So if you were to look at the memo that's attached in the board packet online, I regret that I didn't make printed copies, so please forgive me. There are two sections of parcels. The southernmost section and the tract of land we're talking about is on Banner Avenue north of Ridge Road on the west side. On the east side will be the platform for the Nifty station at the Ridge Corridor. So if you were to imagine in your mind's eye, there you go. Those parcels there, shaded, are the southernmost parcels. That will be used as the surface parking area for the Kiss and Ride platform that Nifty is actually currently constructing right now. If you were to go by and see the big slabs of concrete there. So to the north, there's an additional set of parcels that will be granted a perpetual and relocatable easement for drainage. So what does that mean? It means that when the project's done and people are taking the train up to the city and park your car and your bike and you go to the north and you see the parking lot, and directly to the north, you'll see a shallow basin, which will be for stormwater management. The town did not want that to occur. I mean, surface detention is a poor use of that much property in the center of town. So we structured the easement to be relocatable, meaning if the park department wanted to put a play structure there, or the redevelopment commission wanted to build something else there, or we wanted to do anything with the parcel, consistent with the vision of the town, be it the park board, the town council, whatever, some future project, we have negotiated with Nifty to allow that to occur so long as the town maintains the drainage calculations for the parking lot, which means we can put in underground storage or dissipated or pervious pavement, whatever we want to do, so long as the stormwater that's discharged into the stormwater system is discharged at the same rate. So it's not going to look as perfect as we would like as a community right now, but we reserve the right to make that improvement for ourselves in the future. And McPhee's gonna pay us for the right to that. So yes, they are maintaining it. So to affect these outcomes, today you have two resolutions. And by separate motions of voice votes, I would ask that you consider passing these two resolutions. They allow myself to sign the uniform settlement agreement with NICD. And as a result, those parcels, the warranty deed will be transferred from the southern parcels, the easements will be granted for the middle parcels, and the park department will receive about $394,000. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
You answered all my questions on the phone exchange we had. Which was good.
I knew this was coming in.
Yeah.
Kind of just this slightly off topic, but did they make arrangements for that parking lot between them and the alleyway, or you've seen the plans I have, like,
Yeah,
is it just like parking lot alley, or do they firm it with something, or?
there it will be
Grass or
fenced,
something.
it'll be fenced with decorative fence for our code.
The only thing is, and it may not, it's a technical thing, on the fourth, whereas under the warranty deed, the number is a little bit wrong. It doesn't have the 45, it just has 5-06. I just noticed
Yes,
it.
thank you.
So just so when you report it, someone doesn't flip out.
I'm sure in the settlement agreement that it's done right. I typed
That's
it
fine.
myself.
No. Make sure that you get all the signatures, also you go to crowd point, they go, yeah, no good. So,
And so while we're at it, if there were to be a motion, I would ask that that motion include once prisoner is aired. So the third from final, be it still further resolved that all prior paragraphs are referenced herein as part of this resolution. Be amended to be it still further resolved that all prior whereas.
what is that? Which one do you want? The four on page 4.
Page 4, the second to last, be it still further resolved, paragraph.
Like the town of Munster.
No,
That should be whereas.
that all prior whereas paragraphs are referenced here.
Oh,
So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make that motion, include his language. As a part of my motion, and you guys can figure that out.
repeat it. No.
I'm assuming you'll figure it out because you walk across the hall.
Yes.
That's my motion. For approval of. That's like terrible, resolution number 2023-02, using that language.
Second. Excuse me, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Okay, and by the second motion and vote, we would ask respectfully that you also adopt resolution 2023-03 with the same caveat that the penultimate still be it further resolved. Include the word whereas between the prior and paragraphs.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So up next, we're doing the perpetual easement agreement with. Okay, okay,
No,
That was like
Confusion, sorry.
2023-3.
Got it. Got it,
Thank you.
all right. Next is adjournment.
All right, I'll make the motion. That's what I'm doing.
All in favor? Okay.